right, got Associate Head Coach Justin Gainey here. We'll go right into questions.
All right, Coach. So tournament time. It's intense. But it's fun. Is this the time of year that coaches and players really look forward to?
Yeah, you love it. You love it just because of what you've been through all season. It kind of leads up to this point, and ideally, you like to be playing your best basketball right now and finding that rhythm on the floor, also in the locker room with the chemistry and everything. So it's an exciting time. You get to play, multiple games, hopefully back to back to back, and it's just ball. It's just basketball, and so we love it.
Is this Tennessee team playing some of its best basketball this season right now?
I think we're headed in that direction. Obviously there's areas we always want to continue to work on and get better at, but I do think we are doing some things as well as we've done it all year. But again, we want to just continue to get better, continue to improve with every practice, with every game.
All right, I got to ask you, saw the video yesterday on social of you and Jordan sitting there, and then mom comes over to interview. Talk about that and what that whole situation was like for you guys as a family.
Yeah, it was cool. My wife surprised us on it. She said she had to get an oil change or something like that, and next thing you know, she's walking in the gym. I'm like, what are you doing here? But it was cool. It was cool. It was great to be able to sit down and talk about our journey and some things that we do talk about at home. But to be in front of the camera and be able to, open up about that, it was great. And, to see her get emotional and with it and everything it was cool. And it just speaks to, just, man, the journey, the journey that we've been on, the journey that Jordan's been on. And she's been right there every step of the way and been a big part of it. So it was cool.
Coach, we've talked all year long about how tough this league is, but when you get here in Nashville, you kind of see the bracket. You see, 13 or 14 NCAA tournament teams. Does that kind of hit you like what a collection this conference has been this year?
Yeah, I mean, we always kind of we knew it. I saw it kind of shaping up that way after the SEC challenge, right? We saw how dominant our league was in that challenge, and you're watching the preseason and watch us matched up against other teams, and it just looks different. It just looks different. And so then you knew, like, man, this league is going to be a monster. And then you get into it, and it's every night. It's a battle every night. I mean, you got great coaches. You got great players. And so to kind of get to this point and you're watching the first round of the tournament and you see how competitive the games are. And, I mean, that Oklahoma-Georgia game last night was high level. I mean, it was some really good players out there. I mean, obviously great coaching, and it was an intense basketball. And so this league is great. What they've done in this league and elevated the level of play is fantastic.
For the guys that were on the team last year, how much was last year's early exit maybe talked about this year, and how much more motivation does it give those guys to not be one and done here?
Yeah, we haven't sat down as a team and talked about it yet. We'll do that tonight as we kind of close in on who we think we'll be playing, start preparing for that, and with scouting and all that good stuff. But it will be something that we talk about, right? Because last year, and again, we made it to the Elite Eight. Did that have anything to do with it? I don't know, but I do know that every game we play, we want to win, right? And it's about winning championships. And so this is the second tournament that we've had this season. And we won down in the Bahamas, and it's our intent to come here and try to win this one. And so, yeah, it'll be something we talk about with our team, because it wasn't a great feeling. It wasn't a great feeling. And, going into the tournament, you have a little uneasiness about how that performance went. And so when you go into NCAA tournament, you want to feel good about everything. So.
The amount of fan support that you guys get here helps in a one-and-done tournament setting?
I think so. It feels like being back at the Food City Center when we travel up to Nashville. This is like Knoxville West. So we love it that our fans show up and show out when we're up here in Nashville. And I think the guys, they feel it too. They love to hear that chant, in the background.
That coaching job, your alma mater opened up this week. What was your reaction to that news, and what's your answer on that job?
Yeah, I was surprised. Like I think everybody was, and being a graduate and former player there and somebody who worked there, I've always kind of kept my eye on NC State, just watching them play and and everything. And I love NC State, and it's a great place. As far as me and my involvement on everything, like I'm focused on what we're doing here, trying to win an SEC championship, trying to win an NCAA tournament. The fact that I'm even mentioned, I'm flattered. And that's a big, in large part to what we've done here. And so I credit the guys that I've had opportunity to coach here. I credit Coach Barnes for giving me this opportunity to have me even mentioned in such a great situation like that.
Coach, what about the potential matchup tomorrow? A pair of teams that you were able to beat on the road, both of them.
Yeah, I mean, both of those teams are good teams. Both of them are well-coached teams, and I think regardless of who we play, nothing changes for us and what our mindset is and what we have to do. We got to defend, we got to rebound, we got to take care of the basketball. Those are the three things, regardless of who we play, that we have to do. But our guys will be amped up, they'll be prepared, they'll be ready to rock and roll.
Justin, have you all as a staff discussed with the guys playing for number 1 seed this weekend?
We haven't, because we haven't had a chance to really get together and kind of talk in depth about about this tournament and the importance of the tournament. That'll be something we talk about tonight. As far as the number 1 seed goes, I'm not sure. I'm sure if we'll share that with them, but I know they're aware of it. I'm sure they they see what Joe Lenardi puts out and all of that stuff on through the media, and so that may be something we talk about tonight. Maybe.
How much did Senior Day this past weekend, as a dad, mean to you in terms of the reception the senior class and Jordan received?
Yeah, it was special. It was special. It was one of those things for me where, again, I had to wear both hats because I look up first. I'm hugging Igor, I'm hugging Z, those guys and their family, and then I'm running back to the end of the line to go be with Jordan and come through it. And so it was cool. It meant a lot to me. I'm thankful that this wonderful fan base accepted Jordan, accepted our family on both sides, as a player and as a coach. And it was just an honor to be able to do it. And I tried my best not to get too emotional with it. And but inside it felt really good to be dad, to be all dad at that moment. So it was good.
It's key for Igor to find some consistency here.
You know what? I think with Igor, he's as for him finding consistency, just continuing to find his spots on the floor to attack. I think just slowing down a little bit and seeing how the defense is playing him and seeing what opportunities from offensive standpoint present itself. But I'll go back to defense. I feel like with him, if he can just lock in defensively and focus all of his attention there, the offense will come. It will come. He's a great offensive player. He's a versatile offensive player. And I think taking your mind off it sometimes really helps you to not press so much. And so, we're encouraging him, man, be great on defense. Do all the little things on defense. Rebound the ball. I think he's one of the best rebounders in the country at his position. Continue to be that. Continue to do that. Lose yourself on that side of the basketball, and everything else will take care of itself.
Given how deep this conference is, do you think winning the SEC tournament's harder than winning the NCAA tournament this year?
You know what? I don't know, because I've never won the NCAA tournament, never been to the Final Four, but that's really hard. It's really hard to win those 4 games in a row to get to the Final Four. Is really hard to do. This will be challenging. This will be a battle. Every night will be really tough. And as each game mounts, the pressure mounts. But I can remember being in that Elite 8 game last year. Purdue was pretty doggone good, and the anticipation, the intensity of that game, like you're one step from getting to the Final Four. That is tough too. So I think they're equally tough. It'll be equally as tough, and so you just kind of gotta lock in the moment and focus in on the moment and try to win every game that's in front of you.
What's this weekend like for a guy like Chaz? Obviously, he grew up here.
Yeah.
He dreamed of wearing the orange and white, and now he gets to play in the SEC tournament.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got to be a special moment for him, to come back home and kind of got a glimpse of it when we played Vanderbilt this year, coming back home and just having such a turnout with his family and friends, and so this is on another level, right? Bigger stage in the Bridgestone, and so I'm sure he's excited about it, but he's prepared. And Chaz is a guy, as you get to know him, he's a even keel kind of guy. He doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. So I don't think outwardly you will see the emotion and the excitement that he may have, but I can only imagine the feelings that he has. I was long time ago when I played the ACC tournament was in Greensboro, and I'm from Greensboro, and so it was emotional for me. So I can only imagine how he's going to feel.
Obviously, no game from here on out is guaranteed. How do you kind of soak in that moment, knowing that with your son, every game could be the last game that you guys share together?
It kind of set in today in shoot around. It's like, man, this is it, and so but I think the way you handle that is just stay in the moment, enjoy every moment, and try to not let this one be the last one. And so you do that by winning, right? And taking care of all the little things that are involved in winning, from the preparation to the execution of the game plan. And so, yeah, I think about it, but then immediately go to, okay, if it is the last, let's make sure we go out and it's special. Let's go out winning it.
There's a narrative that sometimes goes around that a conference tournament isn't as important as like the long run, and you spoke on it a little bit yesterday, saying that that's not a conversation you guys typically have
Right.
in your locker room. You guys focus on every win is just as important as the last. How do you guys get that to just sink into their minds and realize that every game is just as important?
Yeah, well, the message is always we got to get better, right? We got to use every opportunity we have together to get better. Whether that's in practice, whether that's in the film room, whether that's in the training room, in every game, And so that's always been our thought process, starting from our exhibition games, starting from our close scrimmages. We always want to get better, right? And so that's the mindset going into this tournament. Like, we don't want to take a step back. We don't want to walk into it saying, hey, this could hurt our our moving forward, our games moving forward. Like, no, we're trying to get better. We're trying to improve on everything that we do. And so that's kind of the mindset that we take with it. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, because tomorrow's never promised. You never know what could happen. And so we want to take advantage of this moment.